Good afternoon, fellow rippers. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to beautiful Florida Panhandle. Mick here with Grip It, Rip It, Chip It. Coming to you today from my backyard with a little bit different kind of a video today. I'm going to be testing to see if this little gadget works. So this is a follow-up video to a video that Gabe over at Let's Play Through did. He tested some balls, different variety of balls, different manufacturers, for how balanced they are. He did a static balance test with salt water, and if you haven't seen those videos, go check them out now. I'll try to put a link in the description below for his channel or his videos. He did two tests. He did the static balance test with the balls to see if they were balanced, and then after he did that, he took them to the putting green with a stent meter and rolled them, knowing which balls were balanced and which ones weren't, to see how it would be affected. And both videos I think got some pretty surprising results. So if you haven't seen those videos, or if you're, I'm assuming if you subscribe to my channel, you also subscribe to Gabe. But if not, go check his videos out and take a look at what he came up with in terms of balanced or not. I think some of it might surprise you. And then Miles Martin Golf, Miles over at Miles Martin Golf, did a follow-up to that as well to test some different variety of balls, just to give a little bit bigger sample size. Balls coming from different areas of retailers. Miles, I think, is in Jacksonville area. Gabe is in the Tampa area. So he just wanted to see if he would get the same results as Gabe did. So you can go check out Miles' video and channel. I'll again put the description below, link in the description below if I can. And I think, depending on which ball you use, you might be surprised at some of those results. So after watching Gabe's video, I had made a comment to him that I really just don't want to have to go through that process to find out if the balls are balanced or not. I recently heard that Bryson DeChambeau actually does the same test that Gabe did, and before he plays, in order to pull out only the balls that are balanced, which is fine to do if you want to go through that process. But a while back I had heard about this, probably years ago, I had heard about this little gadget. It's called the Technasonic Check Go Sweet Spot Finder Ball Balancer. It's not really a balancer, it finds the balance for the ball. So after I saw Gabe's video, I thought about this thing and I ordered it. So I'm going to just take it out of the box and show it to you. Comes with a little instruction book. It came with batteries in the box. It's about the size of a coffee mug, kind of. Plastic. You know, it's pretty good, well built. Comes with its own little marking pen. On the back side where the marking pin goes, I don't know if you can see that, it's got little grooves you can hold with your fingers like that. The button on the front to spin it, then the light will come on. On the back side where the pin goes, there's a little screw here. You open that up, put the batteries in. I think it was 2 AA batteries if I remember. And I got this off of eBay or Amazon. I can't remember which one I ordered it from. I think it was around $24 maybe, something like that. So basically the principle of this is you put the ball up here on top, and then this little thing spins the ball at over 10,000 RPMs. So once that happens, whether the ball is balanced or not doesn't matter. It takes that ball and finds its balance point based on whatever its balance is. And I thought this is much more useful for me. It's quick, it's easy, and if you're playing a ball that's not balanced, at least it finds the balance equator for that ball, so you know where that is. So I'm going to do one for you. I got a couple balls in my pocket here for us. This one is called a Velocity Tour, Wilson Velocity Tour, and you'll see, I think you can see on this ball, it's got a mark, a lineup line, if you like to line your putts up and stuff, so you can use that line. I can tell you that I did all of the Q-Star Tour balls that I normally play, and they also have a line on them like this. Not one of the Q-Stars did this gadget, where it said the equilibrium of the ball is, line up with that line. So it told me that the manufacturers are not balancing or finding the balance point of the ball and lining that up. I only had one that was kind of close. It was, if the ball was like this, the actual line was a little bit crossed like that, so it was sort of close. Most of the other ones, it was all over the place, perpendicular and completely opposite. So if you were using this line to line up your ball, it could be messing you up. So I'm going to just put this ball on here, and then I will kind of turn this towards you. And here, let me put the camera down more towards this gadget so that you guys can see. I think that should give you a good view of the process here. So you won't see me in the frame, but you'll probably be thankful for that anyway. Alright, so what's going to happen is when I turn on the machine and spin the ball, it's going to start rotating. It takes about, I don't know, 10 seconds or so for it to get up to the maximum speed that it'll go, and then that's where you can mark the balance point of the ball. So there's two ways that you can mark the ball. If you want a line to go all the way around the ball, you can just put the pin through this hole while it's spinning and touch it to the ball, and it's going to put a line all the way around. If you don't want a line all the way around the ball, what you can do is just put a dot here on top and then let it stop, and then it's designed to where you can take this off, turn it over, and put the ball in the bottom, and then what you would do is put the dot on top, and then you can use the side of the cup here to mark your line, just a little line if you don't want it to go all the way around. I don't mind it going all the way around, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to see if I can get a little window there for you guys to look through, and then I'm going to just start winding it up. You'll see the green light come on. It flashes when it's working, and then when it gets to the maximum speed and the ball gets balanced, it will go more solid, and then we'll mark it. So I'm just going to get this rolling. So this ball didn't do too bad. It started a little bit of wobble when it first started, and then it balanced out pretty quick and pretty easy. So now it's getting up to speed, feels pretty smooth. Light turns solid, it's rolling pretty smooth. I'm gonna mark a top dot because that makes it easy to see. And then I'm just gonna put the pin through here and mark a line. You might see that show up on the camera. I don't know if you will or not. Put a little bit more. And then I'm gonna let it wind down. Now, in the instructions it says not to forcefully stop it. I mean, I don't know if that really matters that much, but it takes a while for it to wind down. And then you'll see on the camera that there's a line there. As it slows down, it kind of wobbles, kind of like a top when you spin a top, and then it comes almost to a stop. It'll kind of fall off kilter. But when it's rolling fast, it stays horizontal like that. So here's the little dot on top. I don't know if you guys can see that. I think you can, right over here, that I put. And then here's the line around, still kind of wet on my fingers. Here's the line around the ball. So based on this machine, theoretically, whether this ball is balanced or not doesn't really matter, but this is the balance equilibrium for this particular ball. So the idea, the theory would be, if you're putting and you line it up on this line, then at least your ball is rolling on its balance point, hopefully going to go straighter and give you a better chance of making the putt. Now you can see that the line that they put on running this way, completely perpendicular to the line that actually is balanced in the ball. So if you were using this line, it's going counter to the balance point of the ball, so that could throw it off theoretically. The other thing I think it could help for is when you're hitting it off of a tee, if you're going to be driving and hitting the ball this way, if you line this up to where this is going the direction you're hitting, then at least the ball is starting out on its balance rotation. So will it help? I don't know. Will it make a difference? I don't know. But after I bought the thing and I did all the Q-Star balls, it made me think, does it actually really get a balance point, or is it just spinning the ball to a point where it's going as fast as it can and then that's where it is, you mark? So I decided to test that, which I'm going to do for you guys right now. So what I'm going to do is, this would be positioning the ball in its balance point. So what I'm going to do is rotate this kind of to the side so that we know it's not on its balance axis, and then I'm going to spin it up again and see if that line goes back down to the horizontal plane of where we marked it the first time, just to see if this thing's actually accurate of getting that balance equilibrium. So here we go, let's give it a shot. Getting up to speed. I think I see the line down there. It's kind of hard to see. I think I see it. Yep, it is coming into, there it is. It's at the speed. The line, I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but the line is definitely horizontal. And I think what happened was it went the opposite side down. So the dot that I had put is actually on the very bottom, I believe. I don't see it on top here, which is fine. Those are the two poles of the equilibrium balance point. So depending, I guess, on how you orientate it, it could go up or down, as long as this line goes back to the horizontal plane, which it did. And it's a little wobbly as it slows down, but that did work. And if we pick it up and turn it over, there's the little dot from the other side that used to be up, but that is the balance point of the ball from that horizontal plane. So for the Wilson Tour Velocity, that one was, it worked. It actually repositioned back to where we tested it. So let's try this one. This is a Pro V1X from Titleist. I believe Gabe, when he did his video, tested some Pro V1s. I don't know if they were X's or not, but that's what will maybe make it a little bit surprising for you. I can't remember if his were X's or just Pro V1s, but if that's what you play, might be interested in going to watch his video, because you might be surprised at the results. So we're going to spin this one up. It actually spun up pretty smooth. It was a little smoother start out than the Wilson was, so I'll give it that. Here it's up to speed. The light turned solid. I'm going to put a little dot on top. And then I got to find the hole. We're going to put a line through on the side. Try to do it nice and light so we don't move it off of its point, and then I'll let the momentum spin back down. Alright, so it's coming to a stop now. We'll put the pin back in its little spot. Take this off, and then I'll show you. Here's the dot on top. I think you guys can probably see that. I don't know. It's hard to tell in the camera when you're filming. It's usually when I watch it back, it's actually a much better camera than it looks like on the viewfinder. When I watch it back and on the video, it's usually pretty good. So here's the line that we made. Theoretically, that's the balance point that should help you be more accurate with putting and lining things up. So let's just put it at a weird angle and try it again and see if that balance point comes back to the same spot. Spinning up. It looks like it did pretty quick. Yep, all right away. It's getting up to speed. I can already see the dot on top. I can already see the line. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. I can already see the line on the side. The dot's right in the middle on top where I marked it. It's solid, so it's at the fastest point and balanced. If I let that off, I think you'll see the line come into view as it slows a little bit, because it does spin it pretty darn fast. So 2 for 2. This thing actually seems to work. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little surprised. I thought it was kind of more of a gimmicky thing. I didn't think it was going to be that accurate. I thought it would be kind of close but all over the place, but this one is exactly perfectly back where we marked it, the dot on top. So it does seem to at least take wherever the weight of the balance of the ball is and put it back to that same point every time, so that at least you know you're getting an accurate line on where the ball is balanced spinning. So that made me think of a couple of questions. Is it really going to matter that much? You know, I don't know. But based on Gabe's video on the putting green, I think it could, at least for putting. So I've decided I'm going to use this thing with all the balls that I play. I'm going to mark them, and I'm going to start using that line that is based on this equilibrium for my putting, and for when I hit my driver, I'm going to have that going in the direction I want my drive. The other thing it made me think of is this little gadget is spinning the ball at over 10,000 RPM to get that balance point. When you hit a drive, it's going in the air for a while, and it's spinning, you know, ideally anywhere from 1800 to 2300 RPM. It's going to have some backspin on it. And is that speed of spin enough to cause this to get balanced on its balance point in the air spinning? If you know, if you guys know what I mean. So say the ball was lined up like this when you hit the drive, and then as it's flying through the air, that backspin is that going to be a speed enough to cause it to go up onto its balance point? I'm not really sure. I'm not really a physics type of a brain. I'm not that smart, so I don't even know how to figure that out. You know, maybe I need to tag Bryson DeChambeau and have him comment and chime in, because he is a physics guru, and if he doesn't already know, he would probably know how to figure that out. My thought is, if this does happen naturally from just the backspin from hitting it, it might not be that important for drives, although you are already starting it out on its balance point, so it doesn't have to take the time to get balanced in the air. Now when you hit a wedge, sometimes with wedges you can get up to that 9 to 10,000 RPM that this thing does. The problem is the ball's just not usually in the air long enough for it to get to that point. And when you're hitting a wedge, because it's usually on a hit after you've already driven, you're not allowed to pick it up and position it. So with a wedge, does that naturally happen, or is the ball just not in the air long enough? I don't know. So that made me question that, whether or not it's really that necessary. But I think it can't hurt to have the ball starting out on its balance point from the very beginning of a hit. I think definitely during putting, it can help to, at least if you hit the line that you're trying to hit, it's at least going to roll better on that line, knowing that you're using the balance equilibrium of the ball effectively, rather than being perpendicular to it, and then it could wobble a little bit based on the ball if it's an out of balance ball. So I think this, without having to go through that process to see if a ball is balanced or not, even if you're playing an out of balance ball, at least you're using the balance point of the ball while you're using it and playing it. So the other thing I thought about was, does it last? So I plan to make a follow-up video, and if I can play one of my Q-Stars, my Q-Star tours, and play with it for about 3 or 4 holes and not lose it, then what I plan to do is put a mark on it so I know it's the ball I played, a little asterisk or something, and save it, and then come back and retest it with this to see if it then goes back to that same balance point, or if playing it for a few holes and hitting it causes it to change the balance point to where it would go at a different point. Put a comment below if you think this thing could help. I'm going to play and hopefully be able to sink a few more putts, maybe take a few points off my score. But to me, this is way easier. It's pretty quick. I went through, I don't know, I had a couple dozen Q stars in my bag, and I went through them in, I don't know, 15 minutes. I did all of them and marked them, and they're good to go now. So I know at least where they're balanced and marked. So it'll be very interesting to see after I've played one for a few holes if it changes it, and then if I can save one for a few holes, then I'll play another one for a few and maybe a little more and try to keep from losing it, and then come back and test it again and see if that changes it up. That'll be interesting to see. But comment below if you think it matters, if you think if this would be an interesting thing for you to get. I want to let you know right off, this is not an endorsed video. Chuck Go did not pay me to do this. I just basically got this because of Gabe's video, and I don't know how or why Gabe got onto that of wanting to check the balance, if it was just something he thought up or why he started it. He maybe said in the video, I don't remember, but it was because of his video and some of the results that he got that made me think about this, because I had heard about it in the past. So I decided to get one and try it out, see if it matters, see if it makes a difference. So hope you like it. If you haven't subscribed already, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up down below, and come back for the follow-up after I've played with the ball and see if it stays balanced or not, or keeps the same equilibrium point or not. Alright, that's it for today's video. Until next time, hit them straight and hit them long. We'll see you on the tee.